Greetings, everyone. Guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of height, being tall. Women naturally crave taller men. They naturally are more attracted to taller men. And this is for all stages of their life, whether they're, young in school or, they're in their early adult years, 20s, 30s, or even their later years, 40s, 50s. Women are just naturally attracted to taller guys, taller men. And we see this, the data is clear. We see this on dating apps. We see it in real life. We see it in marriages. We see it in relationships. The taller you are, the more likely you are to be in a relationship, the more likely you are to have a girlfriend, the more likely you are to have consistent sex. And that's just a fact. Now, the blue pill and the red pill, they like to ignore facts. Stuff that is not debatable, stuff that is not someone's opinion. It's actually reality. Now, obviously, is it impossible to get laid being short? No, it's not impossible to get laid being short. Obviously, if you're on the shorter side, what I consider the shorter side is below 5'7". If you're below 5'7", in my opinion, you're on the shorter side. And that goes for America, first world countries. Now, obviously, the standard height is 5 foot. I believe the average height of a man in America, or just in the first world countries, is 5'9". That's probably the average height. So I'll put like 2 inches up and 2 inches down. So that's why I come up with that number 5'7". So if you're below 5'7", you're definitely on the shorter side. So in general, if you're on the shorter side, naturally you're going to struggle to get women. It's going to be a lot harder for you. That's just a fact. Okay. So whether you're on dating apps or you're going in person, cold approaching in person, or trying to get true signals in person, the shorter you are, you're going to be less likely to get choosing signals. Now, that's just the reality. Now, a lot of people, they'll say, oh, focus on the things you can control or don't let that hinder you. But it does. It does hinder you. Because a lot of these, especially these Zoomers, a lot of these women wear heels. A lot of these women are extremely tall. When I go out, man, I see women who 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". These women, I don't know what's into them these days, but they're tall. These women are a lot taller than usual. So just naturally, you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to find different ways. One way is you only talk to women who are shorter than you. So if you're below 5'7", you can only deal with women who are below 5'7". And so that cuts out, that cuts out a large chunk of women who you can interact with, who you can be romantic with, who you can potentially date, because you only can deal with women who are shorter than you. Most women aren't going to deal with a man, aren't going to give the man a time of day who's shorter than them. You just don't see it. Go out tonight and look how much women you see who are interacting, who are dating, talking to men who are shorter than them, who are in relationships with men shorter than them. You just don't see it. Women date up. That's what women marry and date up. That goes for financially, that goes for status-wise, and that goes for height-wise. That's just what they do. Height is a signal for masculinity. It's a signal for testosterone. It's a signal for a lot of different things that women like. It's a good body posture, good frame, good genetics, good height passes off to your kids. So if you're 6'4", 6'5", that's amazing. That women are going to crave you. You don't even have to have a great face. If you just have that height, women are going to crave you. Women are going to want to interact with you, want to sleep with you. And we see that. Now, I still put face ahead of height. Just because if you're on the shorter side, if you're 5'5", 5'6", 5'4", but you have a great face, you're still going to have opportunities to pull women, to sleep with women, just from having that great face alone. Like if you go on a dating app with that great face, you're going to pull. However, if you're on the shorter side and you have a normie or a sub-5 face, it's just brutal for you on dating apps. You just might as well not even try dating apps. And in person, it's also going to be brutal. So that's the worst combo. That's the worst two things you can have. below average or average face, and then you're also below average height or on the shorter side, that is really brutal. So you're going to have to look into things that can actually impact that. Just trying to cope with it and, just keep approaching and, do what the blue pill and the red pill tell you, to work on your masculine frame or work on your personality or just try to get a lot of money. That stuff isn't going to work for you. Not in a first world country. Women aren't going to give you the same opportunities that they will a taller guy. You just don't have the height that they're looking for. Some guys try to get around this by wearing elevator shoes or wearing boots that give them good height. That can work for like a quick, you're going out for 2 hours to like a bar or club and you don't want to get height mogged by everybody. So you would do that. That's fine. But if you're looking for long-term solutions, the only one I know is you got to get leg lengthening surgery. It's becoming a lot more popular now than it once was. It's a lot safer. There's people who do it professionally. Silicon Valley, for example, in California, there's a lot of people out there in California who get it done. You can fly to different countries and get it done. Now, obviously, it is pricey. I'm not going to quote a price right now because it ranges based on where you are, where you get it done. But it is legit. If you're below, 5'5", 5'6", if you're below that and you want to go up to like 5'8", maybe 5'9" if you're lucky, it's totally worth it because just that height marking, just women looking down on you, it's just a horrible feeling. You don't want to go through that for the rest of your life. You want to do something about it. And that's a solution. Instead of coping with it, mentally coping with it, go do that. It's not as bad as it seems. From what I understand, of course, they break your legs and then they insert different bones and stuff like that. Obviously, you might be, gonna have a rehab period, but it's beneficial for you for the rest of your life. Personally, I've broken my leg before. I was on crutches. You go through rehab, and then once it's done, it's done. You're back healed, you're back healthy, and you're strong again. All right. So just, you could sacrifice 6 months of your life to live, the next 40 to 50 years, having success with women. It's totally worth it. You're going to get more options. More women are going to find you attractive the taller you are. That's just a fact. You're going to be looked at as more masculine. You're going to look at like you have more testosterone. People aren't going to height mark you. Height marking is so damaging. You go out and guys do this. Guys compete with other guys. Women compete with other women. And, you're going out, people, you can just see it in the eyes when they talk to you, they interact with you. It's like, man, hey, you're short. They won't say it, they're not going to ask how tall you are, but it just is what it is. You're on the shorter side. And it's not just for women. That's what people forget. And that's why the black pill is so important. Fully understanding the black pill is really important. A lot of people misunderstand the black pill. They think that it stops at women or it's just about dating and relationships, that you just have a bunch of angry guys who are upset that they can't get laid or that they struggle with women. That's not the case. The black pill is about all of life. It's about the truth, all of humanity. When you are taller, you have more employment opportunities. You're more likely to be promoted. You're more likely to have a larger social circle. You're more likely to make more money. It impacts your entire life, no matter your career field. When you sit down for an interview, the better looking you are, and the height is a part of looks, guys. So when I say the better looking you are, I mean the taller you are, the better your face is, the better your frame is. Overall, your entire looks, the better looking you are, the higher chance you are to get a job, the higher chance you are to get a good paying job, the higher chance you are to get promoted, the better social life you're going to have, the better happiness, the better closer relationships. Just from having those looks, just from having that height. People want to be around people who are taller. We see it all the time. So that's the facts of what happens. And you can just look at somebody and you can tell the height. For example, like on YouTube, for example, you can tell, like a YouTuber, you can tell how tall they are based on the height. based on the length of their shoulders is a good indication of height. That's the easy way of telling somebody. And if you just look at a lot of YouTubers on YouTube, these guys on social media who do not tell you the height, you can just look at their shoulder length and see and make a rough estimate of how tall they are. The longer their shoulder length, the taller they are. And you'll see that a lot of these successful YouTubers are on the taller side. You're not going to see a big YouTuber giving dating advice is 5'4", 5'5". That's unnatural. Most Chad lights are tall. You're not going to, I don't even think it's possible, in my opinion, to be a Chad and be below 5'8". You just don't see that. You're not going to be a Chad Slayer and you're 5'7". Not in America, not in a first world country. It doesn't work that way. You need that height. That height is so important for your PSL. It's so important for your looks level. It's so important for female attraction. It's so important for your social circle. Now, if you're on the younger side, there are some solutions that don't involve leg lengthening surgery. Like if you're still going through puberty or you're still, your growth plates in your knees are still growing, they have different types of testosterone, different types of hormones, different types of steroids that you can take that's going to maximize your height. So, naturally you may grow to 5'8", but because you took these hormones and while you're growing, you grow up to 6 foot or 6'1". I'm not going to dive deep into that, but if you want to look on YouTube if you want to look at internet forums and find certain things that I'm talking about, some of you guys may know it and put it in the comments, but a lot of that stuff does work from the results I've seen. Obviously, nothing's 100%, so it's still a risk you're going to take. But if you call a doctor and they say, "Hey, man, your growth plates are almost closed," and you're below 5'7", you're highly not likely to get to 6 foot. So you want to do something. You want to start preparing and planning on different solutions, because when you go through life and you're 6'4", you're 6'5", you're 6'3", you're living life on easy mode. Slaying women is so easy because you have the height. Women are looking up to you, and they just make certain assumptions about you. One of the things, the sexual thing, is to make women assume height is associated with having a big dick. So you're going to that's called a dick pill. Women are just naturally going to like taller guys. They're going to find them more sexually attractive, especially on dating apps, especially in person. If you're on a dating app and you have 6'4" in your profile, you're going to get matches so fast. It's going to be like slicing cake. It's going to be so easy for you. All right. If you have 6 foot, the taller you are, the better. And that's a brutal thing to swallow. It's called the height pill. The taller you are, the more success on average you're going to have with women. It's not about having game. It's not about being able to have charisma or being NT. It's not about that. It's about the physical, the height with the face, with the body. It's simple. That's the guy who's going to get the most women. That's the guy who's going to sleep with the most chicks. If you just have the face and the body, but you don't have the height, then you're not a Chad. You're not slaying to your highest potential. You need all three. It's like a holy trinity. And you can control the body to a certain extent, but you can't control the face. You can't control the height. You need to go out and try to improve those things, work on those things, save up the money to get the work done that you need to get done. Now, I would never say, "Hey man, you need to get surgery." I'll recommend it. I'll recommend the leg lengthening surgery. I'll recommend, hey, you're still on the younger side, bro. You should look into the hormones to see if you can, boost your height that way in a safe, responsible way. But I can't tell you what to do. I believe in free will. I believe each man has to see it within themselves to make the decisions for their life. But I can just tell you, the taller you are, the better your life is going to be. just the more opportunities you're going to have in life, not just with women, but in employment, with social circles, with family. People are going to respond to you more positively. And you guys aren't stupid. You go to school, you go to work, you go to the gym, you just see how taller people, they respond to them more nicely. They get more opportunities. They get more choosing signals. You have the height, you have the frame. Every inch matters. Every single inch matters. So what? You can't go from 5'5" to 6'4". But if you can go from 5'5" to 5'9", that's beautiful. That's life changing. You just totally change your reality. And that's what the black pill offers. You change your reality. That's what Looksmaxing offers. You change your reality. You become better than you are today. You cheat your genes. That's what Looksmaxing is. Women are taught that so early. They're taught, hey, you need makeup. Hey, you might need surgery. Hey, you might need XYZ. You need weave. Or you need extensions. You need all these different things. Men aren't taught those things, but men, you need those things too. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you like my content, please subscribe. If you like my videos, please like and thumbs up. Until next time, fellas. Goodbye.